hello, and welcome to What Are We Talking About with Jamie Jakes. I am him, and today we are going to discuss Tank Dell or Nico Collins. Who is better for fantasy football? And it is a very interesting question because Nico Collins is currently being drafted ahead of Tank Dell in both Dynasty and best ball formats at the moment. And I think it's dead wrong. And for that reason, I think Tank Dell is one of the best early draft values that we have in fantasy football at the moment. You're probably thinking to yourself, who is this doofus? Which is a fair question to ask. I have a career best ball profit averaging over 60%. So I do have a history of winning money in best ball even after the rake that Underdog rightfully takes for providing an awesome service. If you want to check that video out about my ROI from last season, I will link it right here. Yeah. So let's start with injury concerns. Of course, Tank Dell had a fractured fibula late in the season last year. I am a bit of an expert on these things. I have an athletic training major, and I am a sports chiropractor currently practicing here in Dallas and Grapevine in Texas. So I know a thing or two about these things. And what I know about the fibula is that it's not a weight-bearing bone. It's not like some of the more severe injuries that we've seen, like a knee injury or an Achilles injury that'll hamper the athlete for years to come. And I have proof for it because Tank Dell's coach was nice enough to share these highlights with us of him getting back to training very, very early in the offseason. So I have zero injury concerns with Tank Dell. However, if you want to say that Tank Dell is undersized and Nico Collins is a better asset in fantasy football because of the lack of injury concerns that he has, well, let's look into it. Of course, Nico Collins, by the way, about a half a year older, over a half a year older. It is his birthday yesterday from when I'm recording. So I'm sorry to talk shit about you, Nico Collins. I'm not actually talking shit. I actually love him as an athlete and as a fantasy value. But I just think Tank Dell should be drafted ahead of him at the moment. So rookie season, Nico Collins missed a few games here early on. His second season, he missed several games. And last year, believe it or not, he actually missed a couple of games. So if you're drafting Nico Collins because you have more injury concern about Tank Dell than Nico, I don't understand why, because Nico is shown to be a little bit fragile himself despite his larger size. And I don't know if it's certain statistics and metrics that are leaning people towards Nico Collins' side or just short-term memory loss, because if you pull up their actual game log from when Nico and Tank Dell were both playing on the same field at the same time, over the course of week 1 to week 12 last season, Tank Dell in half PPR well outscored Nico Collins, and in full PPR, he did edge him out as well. So when they're both out on the field at the same time, Nico and Tank both missed one game during this span due to injury, and another bye week that, of course, obviously they both share because they're on the same team. Tank Dell was still able to outscore Nico Collins in fantasy football points. So at the moment in Dynasty startups, this is Superflex Dynasty. It doesn't matter either way. Nico Collins at the moment is going at the 312, and almost a full round and a half after that, Tank Dell is going at 502. He's younger. He has virtually the same injury history as Nico, and he was able to do this in his rookie season. What I get so frustrated about when rookies have historic seasons in the NFL is when analysts kind of put that as their cap, and they'll get excited about guys who got 600 yards in their first season with the NFL in 17 full games. They're going to have a big year 2 breakout. And my question is, why can't Tank Dell have a year 2 breakout that's better than his rookie breakout? He's still younger than Nico. He's got 2 years less experience than Nico. And best ball ADP is no different. At the moment, Nico Collins is wide receiver 11, going 19 overall with a second round pick. You can get Nico Collins all the way scrolling down to wide receiver 21, 34 overall for Tank Dell. Really just doesn't at all makes sense to me because when Tank Dell was on the field and Tank Dell was healthy, he was wide receiver 11 on the season with a missed game in week 6, with a bye week that not everybody in this category did experience. He was still wide receiver 11, which makes him, in my opinion, the best value in early rounds, in best ball, in dynasty startup formats. I would kick the tires on the managers if you are looking for a trade for Tank Dell. Maybe if you can send them a late first or an early second for Tank Dell, if they really like this draft class, which why wouldn't you? I would definitely go ahead and send that draft pick away for a massive asset like Tank if they are still concerned about the injuries. So that's my take on Tank Dell and Nico Collins. Let me know what you think. Do you think I am dead wrong, or do you think I am spot on? Last episode we did about this, we did about Xavier Worthy versus Adonai Mitchell, and now Xavier Worthy's ADP in best ball formats are skyrocketing. He flew past Troy Franklin at the moment right now, which I was pretty surprised about. So stay tuned with us, watch these videos, because sometimes I'll be a little bit ahead of the gang. Please leave a like, please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, share with your friend. My name's Jamie Jakes. Thank you and good night.